If you've retired, you don't have anything to worry about. It's the third time I've said that. I'll probably say it 3 more times. See, in my line of work, you got to keep repeating things over and over and over again for the truth to sink in, to kind of catapult the propaganda.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about trouble and trying to get responsible, one-sided news stories
plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 And in case there are any conspiracy theorists out there, how would you prove to us that you're in zero gravity?
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey, there's my beautiful bride.
How are you?
I'm amazing. I mean, this is even better than I dreamed. Yeah, I look out the window and it's all so unbelievable.
People thought we really went to the space station, and there was a moment where I feel like in the writer's room they discussed, they're like, we could just send Simon, he's small, just shoot him up there, so don't give anyone any ideas.
Hey look, this pen is floating. How crazy is that?
We had to do all of our own slow-mo kind of non-gravity acting, which was a challenge because it's sort of like acting underwater. And then there were special effects. We were on like a pulley and a bicycle seat, and it was unlike anything I've really done.
We did it! We're on the ground! We survived!
That was just a parachute. We still have another 6 miles to go.
One of the astronauts in the scenes is actually an astronaut, Mike Massimino. He kept saying what a flashback it was for him and how the room was the same, and even crew members on the set, that it reminded him of crew members there.
The set that we've had, a lot of experts got involved with helping them build that, so it really looks exactly like the real thing. I got a little bit involved with helping them set this up, and quickly they got over with my understanding of it because they wanted real detail of the spaceship dimensions and exactly where everything looks, and they looked at lots of pictures and video, and they talked to lots of people.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Everything's fine.
Howard.
The other astronauts are being mean to me.
We give him a bit of a hard time on the show, you know, as the way the script's written. And we would certainly give him a hard time if he was really an astronaut, but it would be all in good fun. But I think Howard would make a pretty good astronaut, actually. He's a fun guy. His character is kind of funny. He seems like a good guy. Basically, you want someone that you don't mind hanging around with for really a few years, because you're not always in space with him. You're training with him for a few years. You want to be able to do the job, but you want someone that's going to be fun to be with in a confined area for a while. I haven't heard screaming like I've heard from Howard, so I guess that's probably the biggest difference. He seems to be a little more emotional than what you would expect.
Let's let that last scream go a little longer, if you can.
You want us moving around a little bit?
Yeah, let's just, you know.
Now I can say I'm not really an astronaut anymore, but I play one on TV. I can say that, but I'm still really an astronaut, so I'm not really sure how to phrase it.
I'm telling you, I've done a lot of these interviews, well, a few of them from space. The technology now is amazing. The picture, guys, you look like you're in a studio, maybe in Omaha, Nebraska or something. The shot is so clear. Is this a hoax? Are you really in space still?
See the hair?
I don't know. We're going to have to do something for you.
I want to do it. I know.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Watch this. Can everybody float around for us? That was really cool, Chris. Look at her.
That is so cool.
Look at her.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Watch this. Oh, yeah, I can do that. Watch this.
Google Plus Hangout, International Space Station. We have you loud and clear aboard. We have our own way of hanging out up here. Watch my buddies hang out. We're ready to hang out with you guys. Welcome aboard.
Awesome. We have a lot of questions for you guys today, so let's start with our first one from YouTube.
Our buddies hang out. We're ready to hang out with you guys. Welcome aboard.
Just inspired me further, but that was really the one that set it all off.
Great answer. Why don't we take another question from YouTube? We have a couple more minutes before this portion of the event concludes.
It's a pretty interesting question. So right now we look like we are standing up, and so we have lights above us, and so we think just like at home you have your lights on the ceiling, so that is up. But then you can do this like he's doing, and for him right now, it looks like for him that he's standing up. So there's really no sense of direction other than maybe the writing on the walls and the lights that we have, which makes it really neat. When you're working, you can get in all different kinds of spots, and it all seems to work fine. So it's a great place to live and work.
Hi, I'm Noah. I'm in second grade. Could you throw a somersault right now?
I definitely haven't mastered it. I'll give you a trial and I'll show you just how bad it is. Practice makes perfect. Give me another week.
So, if there is the force of gravity up here, why am I floating? To explain that, we have to introduce the concept of free fall. So, let's use this model of the Earth. And let's enlist the help of a friend, Paxi. You might know her. Paxi, hello Paxi. She's with me on the International Space Station.
Looking down at the Earth on a cloudy day, it's kind of hard to tell where you are. But if you can make out some of the land masses, you could recognize them. And then the other way is we have a computer program that just make out some of the land masses, you could recognize them. And then the other way is we have a computer program that just...
That's another tough one. I mean, there's many beautiful and remarkable things to see when you look out the cupola. I guess so far from me, I like the waters, the shallow waters in the Caribbean or the atolls in southeast Pacific are just beautiful. This blue, this aqua that comes up against the dark blue of the other part of the ocean and the islands is just magnificent. It's just so beautiful for me.
Or the atolls in southeast Pacific are just beautiful.
And thank you, Boise State University, Station Houston. We're back to operational audio communications.